Imagine a border where the silence of the forest is broken by the sound of heavy machinery. In the freezing mist of the Baltic, 600 concrete fortresses are rising from the earth. This isn't a relic of the Cold War, and it isn't a movie set. This is the new reality of the NATO frontier in 2025. Welcome to Frontline Report. For decades, the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, relied on a tripwire strategy. The idea was simple. A small force would slow down an invasion just long enough for the rest of NATO to arrive weeks later. But the war in Ukraine changed everything. Witnessing the devastation of occupied cities like Mariupol and Bucha, the Baltic leaders realized they could not afford to lose even a single inch of ground. The strategy shifted from liberation to denial. Estonia has now officially begun the installation of a massive network of 600 fortified bunkers. These structures are being strategically placed along the southeastern and northeastern borders, specifically targeting the most likely invasion routes from the Russian Federation. This is not just an Estonian project. It is the cornerstone of the Baltic Defense Line. In a historic agreement, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania have coordinated their efforts to create a continuous, impenetrable barrier across the entire eastern flank. This ensures that there are no weak links in the chain of NATO's territorial integrity. The technical specifications of these bunkers are a testament to modern defensive engineering. Each unit is designed to withstand a direct hit from 152mm artillery shells. To put that in perspective, 152mm is the standard heavy caliber used by Russian field artillery, the very backbone of their God of War doctrine. These aren't just holes in the ground. They are reinforced concrete modules, prefabricated to ensure quality and speed of deployment. They are designed to house infantry squads for extended periods, providing protection not just from kinetic strikes, but from the brutal Baltic winter elements. The clock is ticking, and the objective is clear: total finalization of this defensive wall by the end of 2027. Why now? The urgency is driven by a series of alarming signals. On December 18th, 2025, Russian border guards briefly crossed into Estonian territory, a provocation that sent shockwaves through Tallinn. With Estonia now committing a staggering 5% of its GDP to defense, the nation is effectively on a war footing. Every bag of cement and every steel rod used in these 600 bunkers is a message to Moscow. The North is no longer an open door. If Chapter 1 was about the shield, Chapter 2 is about the web. Building a bunker is one thing. Knowing how to use it to break the back of a superpower is another entirely. Estonia's military planners aren't just building a wall. They are architecting a glue trap, a doctrine designed to turn the Baltic landscape into a logistical and tactical nightmare for any advancing force. In traditional warfare, a defensive line is often seen as a hard barrier. Break through it, and the country is yours. But the glue trap strategy rejects this. The goal here is not necessarily to stop a massive Russian armored column at the very first inch of the border, but to engulf it. By creating a deep, layered network of obstacles, Estonia aims to glue the enemy in place. Imagine a Russian battalion crossing the border. Instead of a clear road to Tallinn, they find themselves funneled into killing zones. Every road they take is blocked by 40 kilometers of anti-tank trenches and dragon's teeth pyramids. As they move to bypass these, they are pushed directly into the line of sight of the 600 hidden bunkers we discussed earlier. The technical layout is precise. These bunkers are not placed randomly. They are positioned to create overlapping fields of fire. This means that as an enemy tank focuses on one bunker, it is being targeted by two others from different angles. Furthermore, the glue trap utilizes the natural Estonian terrain, the thick forests and marshes. By reinforcing these natural bottlenecks with man-made fortifications, the defenders force the invader to stay on the main roads. Once the enemy is stuck in a massive traffic jam of armored vehicles, similar to what we saw in the early days of the Kiev offensive, they become sitting ducks for long-range precision artillery and drone strikes. The most critical element of the glue trap is time. Military analysts know that Estonia, with its small standing army, cannot win a prolonged war of attrition alone against Russia. However, they don't have to. The bunkers and trenches are designed to buy the 48 to 72 hours needed for NATO's Very High Readiness Joint Task Force to activate. In the past, it was feared that Russia could seize the Baltics in a fait accompli before the West could react. The glue trap ensures that by the time the invader reaches any major strategic objective, NATO air power from Ramstein and reinforcements from Poland and the US will already be raining fire on their rear supply lines. There is a final psychological layer to this strategy, the unknown. While the Estonian government is public about the 600 bunkers, the exact coordinates of each module are among the country's most guarded military secrets. Many of these bunkers are designed to be camouflaged, blending perfectly into the rural landscape. Some are decoys, empty shells designed to waste enemy ammunition, while the real combat power is hidden 500 meters away. This creates a paralysis of analysis for the invader. Every forest line, every barn, and every concrete culvert becomes a potential source of a lethal anti-tank missile.
While 600 bunkers and massive trenches provide a formidable physical barrier, we must ask the most pressing question in modern warfare: is concrete enough? In the fields of Ukraine, we have seen that the traditional static defense is under siege by a new, relentless predator. Chapter 3 explores the terrifying evolution of aerial threats and how Estonia's Baltic Wall must adapt to survive the age of the drone. The greatest threat to a fixed fortification isn't just a tank, it's the suicide drone. Russian forces have increasingly relied on the Garand, 2 loitering munitions, and thousands of small, agile FPV drones. A bunker is a stationary target. Once its coordinates are identified by a high-altitude surveillance drone, it can be targeted with surgical precision. Even if the 152 mm resistant roof holds, these drones are being used to target the air vents, the entrance doors, and the communication arrays of fortified positions. The Baltic Wall cannot simply be a collection of boxes. It must become an electronic fortress. Beyond drones lies an even more destructive force, the glide bomb. These are massive, Soviet-era dumb bombs retrofitted with wings and GPS guidance kits. Released from aircraft tens of kilometers away, they carry enough high explosives to collapse even the most reinforced structures. The Estonian bunkers are designed to withstand 152 mm artillery, but a direct hit from a 1,500 kilogram glide bomb is a different story. This reality has forced a shift in construction. Planners are now looking at deeper subterranean designs and dispersed layouts, where the infantry is not concentrated in one large room, but spread across smaller, interconnected nodes to minimize casualties from a single heavy strike. To counter these threats, Estonia is integrating electronic warfare directly into its border defense. It is no longer enough to have soldiers with rifles inside a bunker. These positions must be equipped with signal jammers and spoofing technology to drop drones out of the sky before they can reach their target. The battle for the 600 bunkers will not just be fought with lead and steel. It will be fought in the electromagnetic spectrum. If the defenders can jam the Russian GPS and radio links, the high-tech suicide drones become nothing more than expensive paperweights hitting the Estonian mud. Estonia's military observers have been embedded with Ukrainian forces to learn these lessons in real time. They have seen that the most successful fortifications are those that are hidden rather than just strong. As a result, the 600 bunkers are being fitted with thermal masking covers to hide their heat signatures from Russian infrared cameras. By making the bunkers invisible to the thermal sensors of a drone, Estonia increases the survival rate of its troops tenfold. In 2025, the best defense is not just being tough, it's being impossible to find. Bunkers, trenches, and electronic shields are more than just military assets. They are the physical manifestation of a nation's will to survive. But building this Baltic Wall requires more than just concrete. It requires an unprecedented economic sacrifice. In Chapter 4, we look at the staggering cost of Estonian security and the political firestorm surrounding the little green men on Europe's doorstep. While most NATO nations struggle to reach the 2% defense spending target, Estonia has shattered all expectations. In 2025, the Estonian government made a historic decision to supercharge its defense budget to at least 5% of its GDP. By late 2025, Some estimates even place this commitment as high as 5.4% through 2029. This is not just a budget increase. It is a total pivot to a war economy. Over the next 4 years, Estonia will invest over 10 billion euros into its national defense. This massive capital injection is funding the creation of an entirely new air defense brigade, the procurement of K9 Thunder self-propelled howitzers, and the massive stockpiling of critical ammunition. For a nation of just 1.3 million people, this spending is a clear signal to the world. Estonia is prepared to pay any price to avoid the fate of occupied Ukraine. The urgency behind this spending was fueled by chilling incidents on the border. In December 2025, 3 Russian border guards illegally crossed into Estonian territory near the Vasknarva pier. While Moscow dismissed it as a navigational error, the timing, occurring amidst heightened tensions, suggested a deliberate test of NATO's resolve. In response, Estonian Foreign Minister Margus Tsahkna issued a shoot-to-kill warning. He stated bluntly that any little green men, Russian troops without insignia attempting to breach the border, would be met with deadly force immediately. There is no longer room for ambiguity. The 600 bunkers are now manned by soldiers who have been given clear orders: defend the line at all costs. As we look toward 2027, the completion of the Baltic Defense Line will mark a turning point in European history. The 600 bunkers of Estonia stand as a silent, concrete warning. They represent the end of the era of tripwire defense and the beginning of a new age of fortified deterrence. Estonia, once a small state in the shadow of an empire, has transformed itself into the vanguard of the West. Through the glue trap strategy, the integration of anti-drone technology, and a historic financial commitment, this small nation has sent a message that resonates from Tallinn to Washington. The front line is drawn, the bunkers are ready, and the North will not fall. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the Baltic Wall. If you found this analysis valuable, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on the latest in global defense. This is Frontline Report, signing off.